Welcome to Waypoint Connect. So great for you to join us this afternoon. Hope you've got your cup of coffee and you're ready to kick back, relax, and enjoy our conversation with Nizaan. Nizaan, welcome to Waypoint Connect.
Thank you very much.
So tell us a bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I am originally from Gauteng. We moved around a lot after I was about 9 years old. But I moved to PE when I was, I think it was about 14 for the first time. So I've been around in PE for about 6, 7 years, coming and going as things go along.
And what are you currently busy with?
I'm currently busy with quite a few things. The main thing that I came to talk about today is the big production that we're busy with, theatre performance production, which we're doing down at the Little Theatre. The Athenaeum is also, it's got two names, which I think is really cool, down in, I think it's near Central area. And it is a serious passion project, and we're very excited about it. I don't know if I should keep just spilling the details.
No, keep that in check for a moment. We're going to get to the big project just now. But your interest that you're busy with, because there's quite a few things that you're doing at the moment.
Yes. So I'm a drama person, and I'm currently trying to get my drama teacher certificate from Trinity College. And I'm shadowing my drama teacher at Theodore Herzl to do that. So I'm spending the term with her there. My day job is a toy maker at Good Shepherd Toys. Very, very nice place. Very, very fun job. So I'll go back to that after the end of the term. And then I also am involved somewhat in my drama teacher's production. She's doing The Odd Couple at Theodore Herzl. And so I'm just there every now and then for extra rehearsals and helping her take notes and getting set together. It's very exciting, designing posters. It's a lot of fun. But yeah.
Now, your big project.
The big project. So we are doing a Shakespeare. And this is because every year the Port Elizabeth Shakespearean Festival does Shakespeare in PE. Obviously, Romeo and Juliet was the last one they did, which was cut short because it fell over COVID time and we went into hard lockdown. So there hasn't been another one. And so we decided to test the waters with a youth initiative. So the whole cast is mainly younger people with some what we would call more experienced people there to shadow and mentor. So our director as well has mentors, Gemma Barnard, and we are trying to get a fun Shakespeare on the board. So we have The Taming of the Shrew, which is a wild one, and we decided to set it in the Wild Wild West. Okay. So that you have cowboys.
So it's a twist on the classic story.
Yes, because it's very nice to have those like classic Shakespeare costumes, but we feel because it's a youth production, we can have a little fun. And other productions in the past, some of them have set them in Hawaii and some in the 1940s. So and that's always fun. It's visually interesting for the audience as well to experience. Yes,
that's amazing. But such a big project, and how did it come about?
Well, I kind of started it. I don't want to be weird about it, but I was chatting to a good theatre friend who had done Shakespeare's with me and done many more Shakespeare's than I have. And she suggested it. She said, we should get together and we should have a Shakespeare again. We're so desperate to get back on stage and do what we love and use the talents that God has given us. So I ended up chatting to the people who used to run it. And they said that it looks like they're going to be immigrating, so they don't feel like they could do it themselves. And that's when it kind of fell upon this idea of, a youth initiative. And then from there on, it went to other directors. It went to, because it's in partnership with PMADS, Port Elizabeth Music and Dance Society. So there, we went to their board and we got our wonderful director, Gemma, and we got mentors, and we had our first rehearsal on Tuesday night.
Really?
So which was great. It was a big read through. It's a huge cast, lots of youngsters, lots of people that have never had a big role before, but they've always, they kind of grew up in theatre. So it's very, very exciting. It's very exciting to see people get excited.
Yeah. I love the fact that you're working with the youth, because I think that's especially for PE. it's a section of the population that we're missing. We kind of tend to go for the more mature, the more well-known, and not just from arts perspective, but in business and in life. But there's a lot of potential in youth, and I think it's key for us to tap into that. And what I love is the fact that the people in the cast have grown up within that environment, but they never had that opportunity to step into, because that's part of the growth.
Yeah.
Is being stretched and being out of your comfort zone, and it's just unlocking that potential that's in people.
Yeah, definitely. And what's wonderful now is we can give everyone a little bit of a chance. As we would have had one or two people come through in the last couple, well, not one or two, over a whole year of different shows and different companies, you will collect about 20 or so of these youngsters that fall in love with theatre. But we've had 2 to 3 years where nothing has happened. So we can take all of these people almost at once, and we can give them all a taste of theatre, their first taste of theatre, because they were maybe 13 or 12 when the last shows were running. Or, for example, in this time, they would have gotten a bigger role, but because it shut down before they even got to prove themselves. So now we can earn our stripes in a very, get in there and get your fingers in the dirt and really go crazy with it. Well, not crazy, obviously we want it to somewhat stay on the bikey. Yes.
And where are you guys going to have this production?
We're going to have it at the Little Theatre, the Athenaeum. As far as I know, it's going to be at the end of April. Dates are confirmed, but there's not yet a poster, so that would affect, when the poster comes out, then that's the official, everything's cleared, we know exactly what.
So that kind of gives you 2.5 months to get ready for this.
Yeah, and with a Shakespeare, you're going to need that time.
Sure.
It gets, especially in the last month, where the tech rehearsals, there's a lot that goes into a show, and lots of people underestimate it sometimes. And as you go, so now we'll have 2-3 rehearsals a week. Then by that time, we're rehearsing every night. So now we're just reading through. Then we're blocking it, and then we're acting it. Then we've got costumes. Then we've got props. Then we've got lights. Then we've got sound. And then you run everything, and you run it for a week, and you make sure it's perfect, because once you go on stage, there's no backseas. So. And once the curtain opens and it's opening night, you're in it. So especially with the youth project, where as we go along, we need to be mentoring the people and showing them about, because some of them haven't even experienced what it is to have theatre etiquette and things like that, or even come close to working with a Shakespeare. What does it take? Projection. These very practical things that you have to learn as you go. We have to teach it to people.
Not just assume that they've got that, but make sure the basics are there and then build from that. So it does take a bit more time.
Yes, it does. So and it's a nice rehearsal stretch. I'm very excited.
What I'm picking up from your story, though, is that if you look at where you started, this is a big project, and it should have been difficult to get this off the ground, and everything just fell in place for you. So why do you think is that?
Well, you know the answer, kids. I mean, ever since it started, everything that's gotten me to this point of doing theatre is one of those things that really teach you to pray. You can be right before opening night, and there's this not there, that's not there, and that costume change stresses you out, and this. It's an extreme expression of God's creativity, but it takes so much to get there, and every step has to fall. There has to be a synchronization that's almost heavenly, and with this show, the way it's just rolled, the way people fell in place, the way people were ready and the right people showed up, and even with the auditions, I was sitting there stressing before the auditions, because we didn't know who was going to show up. We didn't know if we were going to get the right people to play the parts. Are these people that are going to come in and disrupt the theatre? Are they going to hurt each other? Are they going to not be able to play their role or drop out before the show? It is so much trust. And I was just praying. I was like, Lord, you know who's going to show up, and you've cast this cast. You have been hand in hand with everything, the way things have flowed. It's undeniable that this is his baby. So I have to teach myself that because I'm a control freak. So I will take the baby. But this is his thing. And he chose this play and he chose the people that are running it. And for that sake, I don't have to carry this burden of, oh my word, the costumes, the lights. It's going to work. It's going to come together. Even if it isn't what I planned it to be. Because I know now my difficulty is that I really want it to be something that changes lives. And theatre can make such an impact on the people that are involved and the people that see it. And so I'm so worried that anything might happen. COVID, you know, for example. If COVID strikes the cast, I mean, that's lights out, you know.
Yeah.
And I have to trust that what happens is in his control.
Yeah. So 2 things that I pick up from your story. One is, if you're not in a relationship with God, it's easy to say, well, we got lucky. And I just spoke to the right people. I knew the right people. But if you're in a relationship with God and you look at all these moving pieces coming together, you realize it's just too much to be luck.
Yeah, it definitely is.
But what I definitely love what you shared is that whole concept of this is God's and He's going to control this, and understanding that and knowing that and surrendering to Him, saying, use me the way you want to use me, but I'm not going to step into that space where I start owning this, making it mine, and steering it in the direction that I want necessarily.
Exactly. And then you're going to panic with every mistake that happens. You know, and mistakes happen. And it's never going to be a perfect run. It's never going to be a perfect show. But that's not what it's about. And that's also a big thing, is the people that are in the cast are also chosen for each other and chosen to have an impact on each other. And you have to trust that God is in every interaction, and that He's making sure that we are drawing nearer to His connection. Because art is a lot about connection. It's about my soul communicating with your soul, and you have 2.5 months with a group of people that are passionate about connection. What are you going to do with it? You know, and how are you going to be the person that is helping them and impacting their lives and helping them grow? And then I always find this, because I always go in a show and I'm like, yes, you know, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And then I get halfway through the run and something happens at home, and you know, you're running after that and you've got transport issues, and I fall apart, and then these cast members surround me and they hug me and I'm crying and I'm having a meltdown, and these people are there, and it's so beautiful because it's so what He wants for us. It's community theatre.
Community theatre.
So it's one of the things I'm very, very passionate about, and I think it's a very underrated way of reaching people. So
Nizaan, thank you very much.
thank you.
That's an awesome story. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm saying story, but what it really is life experience and doing life with people and with God. So thank you for sharing that with us. We're excited about your project. So people watch social media. Make sure you're there to be able to pick up on this and go and enjoy what these people have put hours and hours into to prepare and get ready. And thank you for putting that effort in and just sharing your talent and gift that God's given you with other people and with our city. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yay!
And good luck.
Thank you.
So make sure you clued up with what's happening and tune in for next week for another episode of Waypoint Connect. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. And remember, have a great week.